Just curious. Then let me check YouTube. We should be live. Welcome, everybody.
Here we go, baby.
Sorry for Oh yeah, here we go. That's for that's for Eric since he can't be here tonight. It's just the three of us. Just the three of us.
Pour one out for Eric.
Yeah, pour one out for Eric. You know how it goes. It's another Tuesday, another pod, another week we can't do this chip tier list.
We've been planning to do that for like 2 months now, dude.
We've been planning on, you know what? Let's not make this pod. Let's not make the pod all about video games every week. Video games, but this week is a little different than the others because we got some legitimate hype going on right now. There is a Nintendo Direct tomorrow, so that's probably what this podcast will mainly be focused around. But you know, we'll see where things go. You know, we're joined by Flowrider again and Cisco.
Here we
go. Hey, what's up?
Here we go.
So, Flowrider, how have you been? How have you been?
I've been pretty good. Today was just a tiring day. Had to set up a huge mattress, king size mattress in another person's room. My back is killing me. Then I had my haircut, and then I was still sweaty, so I just ran into the shower really quick. Not even really shower, just rinsed my hair, and now I'm here. So, kind of
dedication, you know.
Yeah, running around day, but you know what? I'm getting my circle in for my watch, so getting at least
you got to close those rings,
right?
You got to close those rings.
Close them.
Cisco, how have you been?
What's going on with me? I've been great.
You've been great. All right, good. So moving on.
All right. All righty. I see. I don't matter. That's fine. That's fine. Hey, I agree. I don't matter.
No, all good. I'm only kidding. Unless you don't really have anything else you really want to say.
No, we can move on.
Well, I mean, to be honest, we don't have a jam-packed show or anything. Just gonna be pretty much just talking about the Direct tomorrow. So we can hop right into that unless you guys have anything else you want to bring to the table before we get going into that.
What do you bring to the table, Jake?
Yeah, actually, I've been trying to figure out what he brings to the table for us too. You know, Cisco, this is something you and I started a long time ago, and now Jake's here like every week with us, but I don't really know what he's bringing. You know, you feel me?
Yeah, he doesn't do anything. He just
I think it's time. You might have
for
to
half the show, and then he talks for half the show. It's like, oh well, you know, I'm not getting paid.
Mad bars.
I'm not doing anything.
Okay.
I'm not getting paid, so I'm not doing work. But I'll take up half the show.
He said that. Yeah.
But I'll take up half the show.
Yeah. I forgot he said that.
Hey, give me a mic and you won't restrain me. That's sometimes that's how it goes.
I can't be tamed. I can't be tamed once we go live.
Honestly, the funny thing is that I feel like I've been more of my best behavior when I go on pods with you guys. Because when I was like doing radio stuff, I was like, the whole show was just mine. So I was just like nonstop talking, even when I had a co-host.
So you're talking less now?
Yeah, way less. Believe me. I once had a marathon show that went for about 6 hours.
6 hours? Well, no one's gonna listen to that.
I did it for charity purposes, though, so it was all good.
That's what you say. That's what you say.
My man said, "Yeah, I'm. This is
he justified
tame,
it.
Jake. This is tame.
He justified
Jake.
it by saying he did it for charity."
Well, to be fair, that was like a whole school thing. So even then, like it was just really for to raise awareness and to raise money for a hospital that was nearby us. So it was just kind of all for funsies anyway. But usually on the side, it was just stuff like that. But it was fun. It was fun.
Whatever you say, buddy.
Just
you
wait until
say.
you know what the contents of that show were, because they were
I
loaded.
don't think we want to. I don't really think we want to know. We don't need him going. He's gonna take a couple hours just to explain what he talked about in the show.
Right, exactly. That's why I'm saying.
So we're
No,
definitely
he's gonna
not
take a
trying to
couple of
hear
hours
that.
to explain the premise of the show, not even getting into what he talked about.
That's true. Yeah,
'Cause
there are
then I'll say
times
the
where
whole thing here.
yeah, we'd have to send him to Clown Town for permanent.
Just
He's in
permanently.
permanent
Look.
Clown Town for the rest of the episode.
Look, if you guys want to hear that, subscribe to the Patreon. And I'm saying that because I don't nobody wants to hear that.
He's also saying that because we don't even have a Patreon. But if you, but I'll tell you what, if anyone said they would subscribe to the Patreon, I would make one right now. I would make one right now.
Is that would that
It's
be
a
the same?
$100 tier too. $100 tier,
$100 tier.
and you don't
get
get,
Jake talk.
and you don't get paid for it either.
Would you do the same thing for OnlyFans?
Only what about OnlyFans?
Or if you said that somebody would join it or like start donating, and then you would make it?
I'll make the account. Yeah, I mean, you didn't say what I had to post on there.
Yeah,
You guys know how I
that's what
feel
was-
about that.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Is look, if you say you'll subscribe, I'll make one. I didn't say what I'd like you said. I didn't say what I'd be posting or if I'd be posting, but I'd make
What
one.
if they ask you to post something?
Depends on how
Again,
much money.
Mm.
How much
That's
money I
true.
could make off of it.
You could post anything on OnlyFans. You could, if you wanted to post videos of you cooking, those Chef Boss videos, that could go on
Chef-
OnlyFans.
You're right. You know what?
You're right.
I might have to tap into a new market there.
Ooh.
OnlyFans
is
cooking.
for anything.
Huh. We should start streaming on OnlyFans.
I was gonna
The
say
pod.
OnlyFans gaming.
Oh,
Yeah,
that might be.
you know,
that
you
might
might
be
be
the new
onto
meta.
something.
That might be the
You
new
might be
meta.
onto something.
That might be the move.
There you go, Jake. You're finally contributing.
Yeah, you might get a cut of the pay we get for this episode now.
See, this is
Might.
why the pod only matters. This is why this is why the pod matters.
All right. Well, I don't have any good segues to talking about the direct tomorrow, so we're just gonna go directly into it.
And get it directly into it.
I didn't even mean to do that, but you know what?
Directly. All right.
We are going directly into our first and only topic of the day. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, it is finally upon us. Not just the Nintendo Direct, but more than likely
Arms too.
some Zelda news. Arms 2. You know what? I already know. This is what I have to say about the Nintendo Direct. It can't be any worse than last February's. And going into this thinking that, it'll be all right. So, how we feeling though? How we feeling? I don't want to just. I feel like I could just start blurting out all my thoughts on it right now, but I want to let you guys go.
How we feeling?
What are we
about the
thinking?
Direct.
How are we feeling about the Direct? Hype levels going into it right now. 0 out of 10.
About a 3.
3. You don't care about
Yeah.
Zelda anymore?
You already know me, man. My philosophy is keep my expectations as close to 0 as possible. And then we'll see where we end up.
Yeah, you see, you know me though. And this
Yeah,
is
no,
the
you
boat I've
can't
been
help
in.
it.
This is the boat I've been in for years now. And I'm not like these other people who throw their expectations to a 20 out of 10 and then get mad when things don't go their way. I fully know that I let my hype take over, but there is a part of me that has my expectations. I know how Nintendo is, and I've never been fully satisfied by a Direct ever in my life. It's usually only at best 50% good. At best.
Oh.
But it depends on what that 50% is showing. If, they show off Zelda and the rest of it's crap, yeah, the whole Direct 40 minutes of it is probably, let's say 35 minutes of the Direct is trash. That's still a 10 out of 10 Direct for me. So, knowing that Tears of the Kingdom comes out in May, and we are in February, and we've seen like maybe only 3 minutes of footage so far, I think there's a pretty good chance we're going to see about it. And if we don't see about it, they at least have to mention it and say that they're going to be talking about it at a later date. So either way, I'll be happy. Obviously, I'd rather see the game than have an announcement for an announcement. But I'll take that too because I'm starving right now. So yeah, I'm just hyped. I'm just hyped for that. You're a 3. I'd say I'm at about an 8. I think I'm an 8 out of 10.
An 8.
Yeah, I'm at an 8 because I really do think we're gonna get some Zelda tomorrow. Whereas normally, I'm excited for the direct, but you never know what they might pull, and so
That's kind of crazy.
because I know they have to show off Zelda. I'm at
Right.
like an 8. Jake, how you feeling?
I'm like thinking, well, I'm like kind of with Cisco on this one. I think I might get a 4 or 5 ish, mostly because I think I know that Zelda's coming, but obviously I don't care as much as the series as you guys do. But at this point, it's pretty much like you said that there's basically Nintendo owes something Zelda related if it's going to be now and it has to be now considering it's coming out in a couple months. But then it's like other than that, I don't really know what to expect, and I think that like I don't know what to expect factor, considering the fact that I think that this year the Nintendo's not gonna reveal that many games in the first place. It's just I think there's not really much hype going around it other than just the Zelda news. So not exactly sure what to expect for this one.
Yeah, we do. That's also what I think should make it exciting for some people, and I totally understand like that's not what's doing it for you. But I think the unknown is what is kind of making it kind of exciting outside of just Zelda, because the only other thing we would know is Pikmin 4, and then if you don't care about Pikmin 4, I mean, what's there to be hyped about? But if you go off of rumors, which totally understand if you don't want to do that, but I tend to pick and choose which ones I want to believe and which ones I think are true. And I do think there's a real Metroid remaster in the works somewhere. I don't think that's just made up by multiple different people. So, I mean, just the possibility of that is exciting. What else is there though that we might even see there? I mean, there was rumors about a lot of GameCube ports were in the works, like back in the fall. That was like a big thing going into the fall direct that a lot of people thought was gonna come true. And looks like we got Eric here in chat. Let's see. Let's bring up this comment. Is there a Dragon Quest rumor? Not that I've heard.
I might try to see if I can verify that.
My man is desperate, bro.
I don't think there's any Dragon Quest rumors.
Nobody wants to play that mid game anyway.
Yikes.
I mean, that's true.
The series sucks, bro. I don't know what to tell you.
And this is coming from a Fire Emblem fan.
Facts. Fire Emblem is peak RPG.
See, the other thing about directs is that like it feels like every direct is just catered to specific people. Like, like when the directs were coming out for like the Fire Emblem 3 Hopes game and Fire Emblem Engage, it's like Engage just kind of just turned it off completely because it's just like I don't care about any of this crap. But it was like I was pretty hype about it. Cisco was kind of average about it because he keeps his expectations low all the time anyway, so it kind of dampers his mood all the time. And then I'm over here like getting hyped over both of these games because they look so good. But I was like,
that nigga was hyped over a Warriors game, bro.
You know what? I was a little bit, but then like when time passed, I kind of just was like, "But it's a Warriors game. Am I really gonna have fun?" And I bought it anyway, and I'm like, I'm happy to say I'm having fun with it anyway. But again, I know Warriors games isn't for everybody, so it's like, it just really depends on what the direct is catered. The direct is catered to certain gamers or certain genres or certain companies for that matter.
All right. Well, it's going to be 40 minutes. They announced it being 40 minutes, mainly focusing around games for the first half of the year, which they always say stuff like that. And there's always going to be some announcement for later on. I'm sure there's going to be 1 or 2 announcements that say coming this holiday or this winter or even 2024. There could be announcements for. So that's not to say it's only going to be the first half, but mainly focused around the first half. And like I said, I could see Pikmin 4 being in this and being announced for, maybe June or something. I don't think they want to put it in the same month of Tears of the Kingdom. I don't see why they would do that. So outside of that though, there's also the Advance Wars, which I'm don't really care about, but that's something else they could announce. But that leaves all this time for them to have these other announcements. And I have a feeling that they're going to butcher the Mario baseball game. Although part of me is really excited for it at the same time, hoping that they might actually maybe make it good, especially if Bandai's making it.
Nah.
Because if Bandai makes it, I'll go into it with tampered expectations. So Mario Baseball would get me hyped.
If they're making it, then I'll go in there with expectations.
If Bandai's not making it, I'm not even gonna buy the game. Unless the stuff they show off like genuinely looks good. But if they release another Mario sports game with 10 characters, two stadiums, and an awful online mode, I can't do it.
Is that how the last Mario game went? The last Mario sports game?
Strikers is awful.
I know next to like nothing about that game.
Strikers, nobody likes Strikers. Nobody likes Strikers. I didn't even buy Strikers.
Everyone seemed so hyped for it initially.
Yeah.
Because the GameCube and Wii ones are genuinely like really good. It's the same thing with golf. Cisco, like you knew how hyped I was for golf, and it was fun to play with you guys, but I would never play that trash by myself. I would never play that trash by myself. They gave us like...
It's crazy how I still never bought that.
Stupid. It's fun if like you guys play, but like it doesn't hold a candle to Toadstool Tour.
The crazy thing is that now we have a bunch of games that we could play together too.
Yeah, and I also want to say it's not just like it's honestly not nostalgia either. That's like
it's just
the older games just had so much more put into it.
Yeah.
Whereas the bare minimum was done for these recent Mario sports games.
I'm not gonna lie. Playing some of the new maps they put in there, they were definitely disappointing. And I've never played Toadstool Tour.
Yeah, it's
like New Donk City. I'm like this.
It looked cool, and then it was just all part 3s.
Yeah. Like, why am I playing the same hole 8 times?
Yeah, it just not fun. So
it'd be like that.
So, what I'm saying here is there's a lot that they could announce, which means there could also be a lot of filler. I could see a 10-15 minutes going by where they just, they do their quick run of just all these throwaway games.
Indie games.
Anime games. The same anime game 5 times in a row.
I'm wondering if they're gonna just like present like Zelda or Pikmin 4 just like and have it like as like a longer segment too, because I'm thinking that could be an option too, where it's just like maybe do like the first 20 minutes of like the indie games or whatever, some other announcements, but then they're like take 10 minutes or like 5 minutes of Zelda footage or 10 minutes of Zelda footage, and then do the same thing with Pikmin, and maybe they could do that. But yeah, I also think that could turn people off a little bit because they'd be expecting more. But at the same time, I think that's really good for the audience that actually wants it. So especially for Zelda, like if they took 10 minutes of Zelda footage in a single direct, I'm pretty sure that doesn't really hurt the direct at all.
Bro,
So
they did a 2016 E3 was only Zelda. They
how do
literally
you
only.
remember back that far? Jeez.
What do you mean? How I remember back that far? I lived through this. This is my life right here. This
But
is
like, how do you remember the exact like direct that you saw?
because
and
I know
like,
Zelda came out in 2017 along with the Switch, and that was the E3 before the game came
Yeah, I
out.
mean, like,
It's
to
like pretty
be
easy
fair,
to remember it.
and to be fair, this was for Breath of the Wild, so like that was
Oh,
a
okay.
really big deal.
Yeah, so like what I'm saying is they did a whole entire E3 dedicated to just Zelda.
How long
So
was that?
what, E3?
Yeah, like time wise, I guess it was like the 30 minutes.
I don't know if they even did a direct sort of thing that year. I don't really remember that. I think they just showed off Zelda, and that was the only playable game at E3.
You know,
Wow.
you know what was horrible? The
Those
2020 direct.
2020 direct,
2020, I think it was June.
the
Was that in March or
2020
June?
June direct.
Uh-huh. It was when they revealed the Zelda rhythm game.
I remember, yeah, Cadence of Hyrule,
Bro,
but
everybody was so mad.
really, I'm telling you, I don't ever remember being so disappointed in a direct until last February. There was genuinely nothing for me there besides a port of Earthbound, which I could play on my Wii U if I wanted to.
I can
Wait,
remember the
that
port
sounds
of
kinda hot,
Earthbound,
bro.
but I cannot remember the exact date that direct was. So
The
it's like
exact date, it was
crazy.
February. That's all. Jake, you said it was the best direct you had ever seen.
Did I
Yeah, you
seriously?
did.
I don't remember
Yeah,
any of this. Though.
you
did.
loved it. They had some Star Wars
Oh
crap
right,
in there. They had
because they
Fire
released
Emblem
Assassin's
Engage, I think,
Creed.
was in it.
Yeah,
I
they
want to say that's when
released.
they first
They,
revealed Engage, right?
I
I know we didn't see a whole lot about Engage until pretty close to the release.
no, I think Three Hopes was announced that direct possibly.
Yeah,
Because
the
Three Hopes
Warriors
came
game.
out. Yeah, Three Hopes came out
Oh, is
then
that
in
what it was?
July. Yeah, I think so.
This
But
is
then
the
there
best
was the
direct ever. We got Fire
Yeah,
Emblem Warriors.
you were talking about that being an amazing direct.
I do remember. Yeah, so now that I think about it, that was when the Star Wars games got ported, and then Assassin's Creed get ported, which is an important series to me. So it's like, yeah. So again, that direct was a little catered to me a little bit.
Yeah, it was
I'm gonna be
trash. There was
honest.
nothing any good.
I know people say let people enjoy things, and I've been doing I've been trying. But sometimes, Jake, you make me want to not let people enjoy things.
I swear, Cisco, I can't tell you how hard I relate to that. I can't tell you how hard I relate to that.
Like, because he will go
Genuinely.
so hard for certain things, and I'm like, are you kidding me? You're excited for this? Like the Warriors game, dude. Like all Warriors games, the combat is basically just button mashing. So I'm like, this dude is hyped for this. He's just hyped because it has the Fire Emblem name on it. That's it.
Listen, I could argue that is more than just button mashing, but I'm not going to because that's gonna be its like own whole side tangent at that point.
Yeah, we can't have that. We can't have that.
But I know what you won't argue. You won't argue that you were excited just because it's Fire Emblem.
No,
Yeah, don't lie.
Against that.
Don't lie.
I was excited because it was going to be a different spin on the Three Houses story that we were used to, and people were. I was so done with the complaining about Three Houses not being complete or Three Houses not being like the stories were like so mid or like that the one route that I liked a lot was like so incomplete and they could have done better. So it's just like, when they presented it, it's like an alternate universe. They could have said, well, what if this happens? And I'm like, finally, we cannot. I don't have to hear too many people complain about the same story over and over again. So it's like there was a little bit of clarity for me when that got announced, because then it kind of shut everybody up about the whole controversies and everything about the story. So for I guess for me that it was just, again, like it was just kind of my own thing where it's just like, you know,
Yeah.
it was more satisfying for me. And it wasn't really just more for the gameplay. It was just like the what if scenarios of a certain timeline or a certain story that I wanted to enjoy or at least get into. So
All right, so TLDR, because it's Fire Emblem.
I'm
really don't
reading.
like it
I'm
when
reading the
people
old
criticize
chat. I'm reading the chat right now from February.
this is gonna be so bad. I knew he was gonna pull this up too. I knew he's just gonna pull this.
So February 9th at 4:14 p.m. Jake in all caps says another Star Wars game on the Switch. OMFG. Assassin's Creed, let's go. And then he says, holy fuck. I gasp out loud and I'm in a public office. Fuck yeah. I won't go into some of these more personal details. I don't know what you want out there. He said, I don't even need anything more. This is already the best direct I have ever witnessed. Good Lord. This is pissing me off all over again.
Oh man! All right,
Dude,
I was salty.
really.
I was salty.
I definitely remember the Assassin's Creed thing and Jake popping off at that, and you were like, bro, this is terrible. It's a port.
But
Oh,
it's a
man.
port with freaking subtitles in different languages, and it looks beautiful compared to freaking PS3.
I said
My
Strikers
man.
Which
is
is
cool.
actually
That's
crazy.
it.
My man was the most hyped for a port.
You know
It was
what?
a
It's the
port.
little things that matter. To me, it's the little things that matter. That's all it is.
It is definitely the little things. You're right.
That's
You're
when they
right,
also announced MLB The Show, and you were talking about it. I said, why would anyone play this on Switch? And then you instantly brought up, I had MLB 10 The Show. I
Yeah,
said, nothing has been good for you since 2012.
that's right.
That's funny. All right, I'm done reading that. That's so funny.
Sports games made before 2011 all are trash.
Biggest
Oh, man.
biggest instigator of the modern age, people. Mr.
So,
Gage, boss.
not me. Not me.
Not you?
Not me.
Oh, okay.
See, this is what I bring to the table, a completely different perspective that everybody hates, and then
you do. You know, I don't believe
you are
think it's
not
that
wrong.
we hate it. I think it's how
it's
you
super
react to
controversial though.
No,
it's
how
not
it's
even
delivered.
It's
how it's
exactly
delivered.
how it's delivered. Because trust me, I like plenty of things that nobody else within our friend group likes, and I will express my excitement for it. But I don't think it comes off the same way as yours does.
That's true. Because I get too down. My problem is that I get too down with the hype too much.
All right, but that means tomorrow we might be in store for some more of this. We might be in store for some more of this. And like I said, because there's Zelda, or at least I'm hoping there's Zelda, none of that's can weigh me down. But I will say they're probably going to finish off the show with it. And the whole entire time, there's going to be a pit in my stomach that's going to say, no, they're not going to show off Zelda. They're not going to show it off, are they? They're really going to go this whole direct without showing it off.
Yeah.
Like, that's, I know what's going to happen. So I'm hoping there's at least like one announcement in there to where if they don't mention Zelda at all, I still have something to hang my hat on. So this is what I want to say. This is how I expect.
So horrendous.
This is how I expect it to go. Show starts. It's going to be a game that's probably pretty hype, whether I like it or not. Probably going to be a hype game to at least start the show. And then they're going to probably go into some crap, and then they'll probably announce Mario Baseball, and I'm on the fence with how I feel about that right now. You told me they would announce Mario Baseball last year, I would have been hyped. But after Strikers and after, after really putting some thought into it and seeing how all the other Mario sports games have gone, here in 2023, I'm just on the fence about it. If they announce Metroid Prime Remaster, like I said before to you guys a couple weeks ago, they can't do that without at least mentioning Metroid Prime. So I don't know if they'd want to, talk about Metroid Prime in any way along in the same direct as Zelda. I don't know if that's something they would do. That might be more of an E3 time kind of thing. So I see the whole entire show, 35 minutes going, and then they say, and this is going to be our final stuff. And Ayanuma comes out, and that glorious, beautiful man puts his face on screen, and he says, I know you guys have been waiting. And we're sorry to inform you that we have to delay. And he says, this game is called Tears of the Kingdom because all of you are going to be crying when we tell you this game isn't coming out for another year. But we still figured we'd show you 30 seconds of footage. And it's just Link diving through the sky through some clouds.
For 30
and
minutes.
I'm going to say, oh my God, it looks beautiful. No, 30 seconds, not 30 minutes, 30 seconds. I'm going to say, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And then we all go back to just waiting another year.
It's another 3 minutes of a black screen.
That's how the direct is going to go tomorrow. No, but what I wanted to say is if they don't show off Zelda, this is kind of what I was saying at the start of the show. So if they don't show off Zelda, I do either see it being followed by a treehouse where they actually show off some gameplay of Zelda, or they announce something for, within the next month, dedicated Zelda Direct or event. Which is why, regardless of what they show off tomorrow, as long as there's some sort of Zelda news, I'll be excited. I will be excited.
One game actually I forgot to mention that I think we're going to see in this direct is probably some updates on Splatoon 3 DLC possibly as well. I can see that happening.
Yeah, that's true. I'd be down for that.
That and probably news about the Fire Emblem Engage DLC as well. More like just like when the next wave is going to be coming, but they might not. They're going to do They said that they're going to have the whole wave done by December of this year, so they could still delay it. But I could see like at least like some kind of announcement of when the second wave will be.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Cisco. I know you have a lot more to say about
a little
Fire
far
Emblem.
out, E3, but I doubt we'll see it tomorrow. However, I don't know if you guys remember the original rumors for Fire Emblem, but that we were going to get 2 games in the same year.
Is that what the rumor was?
The rumor was we were getting 2 Fire Emblem games in the same year. Yep.
We technically got 3 Hopes and Engage in the same year. Well, no,
that's
okay, so Engage
I thought that's what it was though.
Released or shown in the same year, because there's also that difference.
One of them was heavily rumored to be a remake.
Oh right, yeah,
I remember that. That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
We were talking about which game that could be remade. Yeah,
I highly doubt we will. We might get some news about it tomorrow. I think that'll more than likely be E3, because the game that they're rumored to be showing off is supposed to be like a super highly anticipated one. Ooh, excuse me. Rumored to be a super highly anticipated one. So just throwing that out there. We might see it. Probably won't, but we could.
So just so people know, when we say E3, we just mean a summer direct.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
basically
like
around the time of E3. Yeah.
We're well aware Nintendo's probably not going to have an E3 presence.
Yeah.
I also think they need to probably show off some I know there's a wave of DLC for Xenoblade 3. So
Wow.
that's probably gonna be in it.
Oh, they didn't. They had Mario Kart too. They
That's exactly what I was about to
yeah.
say. They have Mario Kart as well.
Man,
So
it's crazy to me that they're still coming out with waves of DLC for that game.
yeah,
wild.
it is insane.
They are keeping it so relevant. Like if you want a prime example of how a game stays relevant, this is like the best example of a game that
Is it-
stays relevant.
That game, we should pull up some of those sales numbers that got released today.
Oh,
Actually,
they were definitely very high. I'm pretty sure.
did you
Like, I
did you
think
guys
top
take a look at
3.
those? I even
took a quick
posted
glance. Yeah.
I posted a screenshot last night. I'll just read off the. So the Switch is currently at 122.5 million units sold,
Yep.
which is insane. I think that puts it about 30 million behind the PS2 and what else? I don't remember what it was. A Nintendo console. I don't remember if it's a handheld or because I think it passed the Wii already. So, but as for software, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is 52 million. Nuts. That's not even including the Wii U sales of the game, which I know weren't a ton because it's the Wii U, but I mean, still, this game is selling so much. Animal Crossing at number 2 at 41.59 million. Smash Ultimate at 30.44 million. So I knew Smash Ultimate. I remember when it was at around like 18, and I was like, damn, this game is really doing well.
Selling, yeah.
The fact that this is at 30 million now is just, that is nuts. That is insane.
Like, I think Final Fantasy VII Remake sold like, how many was that? Like 7 million, 5 or 7 million, and they were super celebrating that.
That's what I'm gonna say. Like, those are amazing numbers. The kind of numbers that Nintendo is putting up right now is not normal. It's crazy. Breath of the Wild at number 4 with 29 million. Pokemon at number 5. That's Pokemon Sword and Shield, by the way. 25.68 million. Mario Odyssey at number 6 at 25.15 million. And somehow, some way at number 7, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are already cracked the top 10 at 20.16 million.
Yeah, I think that's mostly because of the younger audience too.
Does not matter.
Yeah, I know.
No, say what you want about it. I think the game looks like trash. I didn't buy it.
It's a trash game, but it's just, the people that don't know any better are going to buy it because it's Pokemon. That's the problem,
I think the people who do know better bought it.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
that's a lot of people. You're not
Yeah.
going to tell me that it was what 20 million idiots that didn't know better went and bought the no, there plenty of people knew what they were buying when they bought that game. And
to be fair, you do have to factor in like the parents buying it too for the kids.
I mean,
so
they're not going to buy it if the kids don't ask.
even if half of that is just parents buying it for the kids, that's still 10 million.
Yeah,
It
is nuts.
It's nuts. It is insane.
But to be fair, like if there was the game came out in 2019, I feel like
what game?
Sword and Shield was it 2018? I don't remember.
I thought you were talking about Scarlet and Violet anyway, because that's what I was talking about.
Oh, Scarlet and Violet. Oh, my bad.
Scarlet and Violet is already in the top 10 Switch sales.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
20.16
Sword and Shield at 5. My bad.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah.
To be fair, people do like the gameplay of Scarlet and Violet. They don't like. There's a lot of people that don't necessarily care about the graphical bugs and the horrible shit that goes on there. To a degree, I do agree with that, but we've come this
Jake,
far.
to be honest with you, I don't even want to talk about Pokemon.
Yeah.
We've been on this far too long.
Yeah.
we know how we feel already, and we don't need to go over it for the millionth time. It's just I do want to kind of just
The game
focus
is
more
trash. You
on the
gotta let it
sales,
go.
though. The sales numbers is more so of what I think is, regardless of how you feel about it. Regardless of how you feel about it, those numbers are just
Insane.
wild.
So I also actually have pulled up the biggest sellers of every single console. Uh and Nintendo Switch is as right now at 5 in all-time console sales.
It's at 3 now after
Oh,
the new
after
info.
yesterday? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, got
after
it.
the new info, but yeah. What is number 1 and number 2? I know the
Uh
PS2 is one of them.
yeah, PS2 is 1 and the DS looked like it was at
The
2.
DS.
Yeah, the DS at
Okay.
2.
Do you have the numbers of what those are?
115. Well, this was updated February 2nd, so I don't have the most recent one yet.
Okay.
But from February 2nd, PlayStation 2 sold 159 million.
It's right
Uh,
around there. It's still around there.
and the DS sold 154.02 million.
Okay, so the Nintendo Switch is, like I said, probably about 30 million away, roughly 30 million.
Yeah. After that, though, it's a large gap because then it goes to like 110s millions.
Is that the Wii?
So it's from this article, it's the Game Boy actually,
The Game Boy, yeah.
and then the PlayStation 4, then the Nintendo Switch. But like the first two, it's 150 million, then it goes right to 118 million for the Game Boy.
Yeah, there is a big
That's a
gap
pretty big
there.
gap.
That's where the Switch is living now, though.
Yeah.
That's where the Switch is living now. I don't know
And
if it'll reach PS2 and DS
Mm.
if this is the final year. Like, obviously it's not the final year, but if they have new hardware next year, they're still going to support the Switch. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be able to do another 30 million from this point on.
I also do think it might depend on the console that they announce. Like, for example, if they do come out with it this year, and if it's like just a home console, for example, I think the Switch will still do well enough that it could get there, just because of the nuance of being handheld and at home. Because obviously with the DS was a revelation that it was handheld but two screens, and the PlayStation 2 is just its own universe during that time. But I
Actually,
think
yeah. So hold on,
yeah.
I do have a question because I'm not a PlayStation guy, and I'm just very curious if either of you know what made the PS2 so good. Was it certain games, or was it
Both.
you could watch DVDs on it? What
So
was it?
the DVDs was definitely a part that gave it like that
I
household
thought so.
feel, sort of
Mhm.
like Nintendo did.
Yeah.
But I'd say one of the biggest things was just that was just a really like it was almost by happenstance because of how much games like were booming back then. Like video gaming was really starting to become mainstream.
PS2
The
era was what, early 2000s?
yeah
Yeah. 2002 I think is when it came out.
yeah. So there was
Let me
the
fact check
fact that
that.
like games and game ideas were just really popping back then. There's the fact that gaming was just starting to become mainstream. The jump in graphics from the PS1 and the N64, all that was huge. So it was a lot of things put together, but um, yeah, it was basically just a perfect storm.
Mm-hmm.
Directly on 2000, at the year 2000 is when
Oh,
it
the
came out.
PS2 dropped in 2000. That's a little earlier than I actually thought.
Yeah, me too. I legitimately thought it came out just a couple years after that. Because I remember I was still playing PS1 games like that were made from 1999 and 1998.
I mean, I
But
definitely remember being in school and hearing everyone talk about the PS2.
it was during those times. It was legitimately the PS2 era, and then Xbox came out, and then that's
Xbox,
when the
yeah.
war started, and that's
Was
when
keep going. Sorry, I'm just thinking about something.
like that's when it was like when you were at school. It's like, are you an Xbox guy or a PlayStation guy? And it was like always like butting heads. There's like, and then
Yeah,
which console you prefer, and but like the PlayStation 2, like bouncing off of what Cisco was saying, like the pool of games, like you also said, Gage, was the insane amount. It's not only just that the jump of graphics from the PS1 to the PS2. With some PS2 games, they were absolutely gorgeous, and I honestly dare say some of the PS2 games still from those days still kind of can still compete graphically with some of the games today if they're pretty like that bad enough. Like for example, Scarlet and Violet. So
you're saying the best PS2 games can still look better than some of today's worst looking games. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, I would agree. I think even GameCube games look better than Scarlet and Violet. I think Metroid Prime and Resident Evil 4 look better than Scarlet and Violet. Like genuinely.
Yeah, so like that, so the PS2 for that reason was like the first console that was like the biggest jump in graphics until we got the Xbox and then the GameCube and stuff like that. And then during that time, during that waiting period where it was just the PS2 for a bit, all those amazing games came out in that pool of time, and it was just like, well, now everybody wanted a PlayStation.
Is that what Vice City came out on? Because that's what I mainly remember as a kid.
So.
Was everyone talking about Vice City? That's what I mainly remember from school.
I'm pretty sure I remember San Andreas. Like San Andreas was like the biggest thing.
I know that also came to Xbox. I think 360. Because that's what I had it on.
2002, and yeah, it came out on PlayStation 2 and Windows, and then it came out on Xbox. It looks like.
I think they did like a trilogy thing where Vice City,
Let's see here.
That wouldn't even be a trilogy because they had 3 games already, and Vice City I think was, I don't really know.
But it was released on October 2002 on PlayStation 2, then May 2003 for Windows, and then October 2003 for Xbox. So yeah, PlayStation 2 did have it first.
All right. Well, to bring things back around and focus more on what the headline of the show is, even though we have 0 viewers. Not to beat a dead horse, because I asked you guys this already, but knowing that the direct is actually tomorrow, is there something you want to see? Not expecting, it doesn't even have to be realistic. It just has to be what you want. Because I want to know if I see something pop in this direct, I want to say, damn, I know Jake is hyped. Damn, I know Cisco is hyped about this. So is there anything that could get you hyped at this direct tomorrow if they show it off?
For me, it would definitely be the Fire Emblem remake that Cisco is alluding to. But like, for me, I don't have the expectation that they would show it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's like he said too. Like the realistic expectation would probably be around E3 time, but that would probably be the biggest hype I would want to see out of that. So, but not much after that.
Anything? I don't think there's anything that I really want from Nintendo right now outside of exactly what you'd expect me to say.
Yeah.
Metroid.
Just Metroid.
He just wants Metroid.
Yeah.
Please. I'll take. Never mind. I was gonna say I'll take anything if it's Metroid, but that is not true.
Yeah, you won't.
That is not
a
true.
remake of Federation.
I feel like I think because of Dread and the promise of Prime 4 coming sometime in the future, I don't think a Federation Force would go over as bad as it did the first time. I still think it'd go over bad, but I don't think it would go over as bad.
It's okay though. It wouldn't be as bad, but it would still be pretty darn.
It'd still sting, huh?
Which would be worse if they announced like nothing, or if they announced a remake of Other M?
I personally kind of, as someone who's recently gotten into Metroid, I heard that the controls in Other M are pretty bad, and it's partially what makes it so bad outside of some story parts. But I would actually like to try out the game if they remade it and had better controls to it.
If they changed okay, so
that's
changed
true.
Like everything about the game. If they change
It's
like
just not
everything
him. It's
about
just
the
not
game,
other M.
then I'd be down for that.
I would
Um,
honestly love the remake ports though. I would love Prime ports for sure because
I
then I
I,
feel
I want to know.
like
Are you
I
gonna
could
play him then?
access it. I do, but my problem is
What?
I have the
What? Hold
backlog.
on. We gotta no. Not even a backlog. That ain't what it is. We gotta get to the bottom of something here, Cisco. Jake, I know Engage just came out, and I know you're playing that, and that's totally fine. That's fine. Before that, what's it gonna do to take you off of Fire Emblem to play some other games for a little while?
The problem
What's it gonna
is
take?
that when I get into a series, I want to play all the games in the series, and I still need to play like 3 more Fire Emblem games.
You got a lifetime ahead of you, bro.
That's that. But then the same argument can be made about Zelda and Metroid.
If you play either of those series, I don't expect you to go into it and have to play the whole entire series.
But I would
I-
like to. Like for
You
me, that would
You need to
you
break
know,
that. You need to break that mindset and just
Just play
it-
the game.
I
Well-
actually think it's healthier and better for you to just kind of play a game series game by game, maybe not one after another, and actually experience some different
That's
some
true
different
too, actually,
games.
because like even when I was playing Fire Emblem, I still took like a long break from one Fire Emblem game to the next one, and I was playing like Assassin's Creed on the Switch, or I was playing Pokemon Legends Arceus, for example. And because I still have like I even still have the Crash Bandicoot trilogy on my Switch, and I barely like touched the first like title, and I still wanted to play that because Crash Bandicoot was like my childhood game too. So
This is another thing we need to break.
These childhood
There's
games.
there's absolutely nothing wrong with being hyped about ports and old games, but so you're telling me it's Fire Emblem. All right, I gotta take a break from Fire Emblem. Let me play an old game, and maybe it's a remake. But this is what I'm gonna play here in this window while I'm not playing Fire Emblem. It's gonna be a remake of a game I've already played. Go back to Fire Emblem, and then go back and play another remake. You gotta experience something new. Why not just like at least try something new?
Well, then that's why I was playing Pokemon Legends Arceus, and then I got the Triangle Strategy demo. I was playing through that, and then I was like, yeah, I definitely want to buy the full game. But then I was like, I'm kind of waiting for the price to drop and everything. So I'm like, so there's like a lot of factors that go into it. But like, yeah, like there's, I don't know, there's a lot of habits I want to change. But then there's like some of the like for me, it's like it makes the most sense to play some of these games. Now the other thing too is that like I will not play the entire series of the games if there are a few games which I can like safely avoid. For like the Fire Emblem series, I don't need to play the first 2 games. They're already remade. I don't need to play Fire Emblem Fates because it's a trash game besides the one route, which is a gameplay experience only. And then after that, it's just like, okay, so now I only have this much. So I kind of like cross out certain games in a series if I don't necessarily have to play them. So for like
All right.
Metroid, for example, I probably wouldn't want to touch Other M,
So I have a question then. If all this is true, why why have you spent so many hours on the same Fire Emblem game, Three Hopes?
because I didn't finish all the routes yet.
You have to finish all of them?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I do want to finish all the routes. And then the one route, the one, and again, I only finished one route.
And then
anyway.
the one route has split routes.
Yes, that one route has split routes, so I didn't
now
want
I have to go.
to.
Oh
I
my
mean, at the end of
gosh.
the day, you get to play whatever you want, however you want, as much as you want. I'm just saying, talking to you about games, and I mean, I feel like every time I talk to you about games, it's always like we can relate to a point, but never fully on the same topic. It's always kind of about our feelings towards games and not about the same game. And like, I just need to find that one game or one franchise where you and I are kind of on the same wavelength for it. And that's what I'm waiting for. Because
Yeah.
if I'm being honest, like you could say, well, why don't you play Fire Emblem? But like, that's just not my thing.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
feel like
that's why I wouldn't demand that of you, because I know that you're not going to be the Fire Emblem. You're not going to be a Fire Emblem guy, because this
Right,
is not. It's
but-
just not your genre.
what I'm saying is I would try something else, but outside of Fire Emblem and Pokemon, I don't
What do
know
you
what
play?
else you would play. Sports games, yes, but like that's not like the same.
But
to
even
me.
for the sports games too, it's just like
it's a
yeah,
different.
and even then, how much can you talk about sports games realistically? And it's all EA.
yeah.
It's just EA is its own freaking podcast. So I can
Sports
know.
games.
EA Sports, it's in the game.
You guys ready to
that's
play
the
the
other
new
thing
Forza?
too. It's like in between all that
You
stuff.
guys
It's like
ready to play Forza?
No.
Yes.
said no.
I love Forza. I actually do love racing games too. So I mean,
Racing games are good. Racing games are good.
Gran Turismo
Racing-
is definitely my favorite, but like I still can't get into the new ones though. I'd rather get into like
Cool.
a new Forza than a
Cool.
new Gran
Nobody
Turismo.
asked.
Yeah, nobody asked, right? I am fully aware nobody asked.
All I
That's
had
cool,
to say was
nobody-
cool. All I had to say was cool, and y'all knew exactly where it was going. Oh, that
this is how we do it here on this podcast, but
That was funny.
yeah, so we'll see.
All
Like
right.
I'll definitely go into it.
We're approaching an hour here. We might as well get wrapping this bad boy up. Nintendo Direct tomorrow. Looking forward to Zelda. That's all that really anybody needs to know. Cisco and Flowrider here. I almost called you by your real name. Cisco and Flowrider here. They're not too hyped. Me on the other hand, I'm pretty hyped about it. So I'm sure next week we'll probably be talking about the Direct in some way. Hopefully we can do this chip tier list we've been talking about doing maybe next week. Or a different tier list, or maybe we shouldn't even do it live on pod. We should just do a you know what? That's stuff we can talk about behind the scenes. Until next time, peace out, everybody. Gonna end the stream now, and deuces.